Hey guys, this is the MTG noob here, and this is a Black-Red Zombies deck recap. So the point of this video is basically to let you know what I thought about the deck I made after a few games of two-man standard. So first things first, I think when we talk about if you want to keep playing zombies, I think the one drops in the main deck are pretty accurate. I never felt bad drawing Gravecrawler or Diagraph Ghoul. Fume Spitter has its purposes, especially against Delver, and Tragic Slip has its purposes as well. So I'd keep all of that. The Highborn Ghoul seemed very good. I did board it out against anything with black. It does seem that black is not as prevalent after checking out the starcitygames open this weekend that's going on currently, so, or that will have been from the weekend since I'm going to put this video up on Monday. But I think the Highborn Ghoul could stay. He's pretty aggressive, and I don't think there's anything wrong with him. He's a 2-drop that kind of fits your curve. Blood Artist has been good when it's good. It's a little bit in between, like you kind of don't need it for the deck if you want to be very aggressive, but I felt like the combination of the Blood Artist, which I'm moving, next to the Bonfire, is really pretty solid. I think 3 is right. I haven't really seen a need for the 4th in any matchups. When their dudes are bigger and get bigger, it's not great, but it's very good in conjunction with Bonfire and the Aristocrat sack outlet. Okay, Geth's Verdict. I didn't really run into any hexproof stuff, but I felt it's correct. I don't know if the Geth's Verdict should be in the board, and maybe a Doomblade or a Go for the Throat should be in the main. So that's something that I would consider changing. The Mortarpod was just like, seemed to win more. I already have a good match against, I would think, the Delver decks with the 2 Tragic Slips, 2 Fume Spitters, the Geth's Verdicts, the 1 Dismember, and the Bonfires. So I would probably relegate this to the board, or delegate it to the board, with the Blood Artists coming in. That was the one card, if you watch the deck tech, that I was initially wondering if I should play more or less of. I think 1 is fine, and my reasoning was because I had the Metamorph if I needed to copy it. And I think I could still stick with that, but it might be better in the board. Messenger is fine. Dismember was fine. Metamorph was pretty good. I would like it to have been better. There were some times where I wish it was Phantasmal Image, but obviously not playing blue in the deck. These have been all-stars, so I'm keeping the number at 4. And then Bonfire, I thought it would be good. It was very good. I could see a case for only running 3, but I felt with all the removal and fast dudes that having this kind of got in. I did miracle it a few times, and it felt very, very good. So the current changes to the main deck that I would possibly consider without any real reasoning outside of the reasonings I gave you before would be these cards. I don't really have good reason for changing them currently. I think they all did their jobs well and what they were supposed to do, but I feel like if there's anywhere to beef these areas up or different type of removal suite you would run, let me know there. Okay, so let's talk about the board. I did bring in the gut shots. I felt they were strong. I didn't really get to use them too much, but they were very strong. I don't know if I need a full set. I mean, I don't think Delver is the worst matchup for this list, so I might want something else or less, maybe go down to 2 to 3. The spell bombs were good, but once again, I don't think Frights is a real deck currently, and it's good to bring them in against like the Sun Titan Esper list or the Reanimator list or anything with Snapcaster. So, and the Zombies list. So there's definitely justification for them. The 4th Blood Artist, I didn't really see a time when I needed to bring in 4. But it does seem like nice to have, like I said, with the Bonfire. Go for the Throat was for big things and more solid removal than just the Dismember. The Doomblades were for the actual matchup where I would need to try to kill a Wormcoil Engine or something like that. The Arc Trails were very, very good. I might actually bump these up to 3. And then the second Dismember was fine. I feel like I had a lot of extra removal. The Lilianas were actually great on the play often. If you saw that match that I did lose, I felt like that it was going to be good, and I screwed it up. So I still think the 2 is correct. So from the side, the things I might toy around with differently are probably I would switch up the removal a little bit. I don't know if I have too much. If you think I have too much, let me know. Um, and then the extra Blood Artist, and then I'd probably cut a Gut Shot or 2. I would consider bumping up to another Arc Trail, especially if I cut a Gut Shot or 2. The one thing that is very glaring is that I have no way to deal with enchantments, which is fine for a black-red deck. You're not going to really do anything like that. If you saw, I was kind of cold to Curse of Death's Hold, but nothing I could really do about that. But something that I can do is not get screwed by artifacts, and there's going to be times where swords are good against me. Birthing Pod is going to be very good against me. So that being said, I probably would consider an Ancient Grudge or 2, maybe even a Manic Vandal, or just kind of bring in like a Grafdigger's Cage, even though it does shut down my deck, so that wouldn't be the greatest of options. And something like a Thorper Orb would be okay. So that's my recap. I know it doesn't really pinpoint or target what I would change, but as you can see, I feel there's a lot of room in the board with all of these cards being, maybe the numbers switched around or changed out, and in the main deck with all of these cards being able to potentially be stronger, although I think the list is pretty solid. Now, would I recommend it going forward? I think after looking at the Star City Games open coverage, I think it has some good matchups. I think the Talaren matchup is going to be a little bit hard, which is the Mono Blue Delver matchup, but if you play smart, you should be able to beat it. I think the Elf Wave deck is beatable. As you saw, I played it, I believe, twice and beat it both times, so that's good. The pod matchups are going to be, I think, a coin flip, probably going to them, unless you have more or less an option to deal with Birthing Pod or their creatures. You could kill their creatures, but some of their creatures late game outclass yours. So that would be the biggest thing. Ramp, I don't really feel is currently that big of a deal. And then Control, you should be able to steamroll if you play it smart. So would I recommend this deck? If you have the cards and you bought your zombie cards and you want to get good mileage out of them, I would say yes. I would definitely tweak it to your own build. I know there's black zombies out there, there's black-red, and there's black-blue. I feel that the red is strong. There's some other cards that I might also consider, like Brimstone Volley and things of that nature. But for the most part, I'd give this deck like a B. I'm definitely opening to sideboard / main deck critique and criticism and help, so that's the point of me doing this, and thank you for watching. Please check out the website, themtgnoob.com, and subscribe to the channel.